9 a.m. I'd like to welcome everybody to the work session of the Limestone County Commission. Mr. Gatlin will be just a few moments late. He just called, said he was running a few moments late, so he will step in just a moment. Public comment, we have a couple listed, and I'm sure we have some others. Ellen, you want to start?
Ms. Terry Richardson.
Terry, if you don't mind, step up to the microphone, please. How you doing this morning, Terry?
Oh, fantastic. I'm recovered from Fridays after 5.
Y'all had a good hot Friday after 5. It was enjoyable.
God. Thank you, Josh, so much for all the waters. They brought 15 cases, I think, to Fridays after 5. It really, really helped a lot. Commissioner Sam, it's so nice to see you.
Good to be back. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for your past support. I always try to read my comments because I like to get everything in, all my thoughts in. If I don't, I tend to embellish, so please excuse me as I read. The revitalization of the square is paying big dividends for our county. In 2022 in downtown, we had over $6 million of property sales and over $800,000 in property improvements. In addition to these numbers, by the end of 2023, there will be 4 new independently owned upscale restaurants opened in downtown. In addition, a small-scale manufacturing operation in the form of a brewery. These businesses will reflect over $3.5 million in additional property improvements and over 20 new jobs just in our downtown. You know, quality of life is a big key factor in fueling this boom. People want to be downtown, and our organization has many different projects and events underway to speak to that quality of life. And y'all, nothing is bigger success for us than the Athens Farmers Market. We greatly appreciated the opportunity to expand our partnership last year by assuming operation of the Farmers Market Pavilion. Using our network of over 1,200 newsletter subscribers and a social media following of over 12,000, we've grown the market to unprecedented numbers. We now have a waiting list for vendors on Saturday. We use all of the available stalls, and we have overflow vendors setting up tents. This has never happened in our history. The market draws crowds from every corner of Limestone County and beyond. We are thrilled with the results and hope you guys are too. Through our own resources and in partnership with the Limestone County Commission, we've kicked off more renovations to the market. This year we replaced the pavilion roof, we replaced siding, painted the vendor tables, and strung festive lighting. We've brought new life to that site. Our design team continues to plan for the next phase of the renovation with the addition of a second pavilion and improved grounds. We have raised over $170,000 toward our $200,000 goal. Many merchants in the area of the square have reported record profits over the last 18 months. Increased foot traffic have helped sales. We have more people visiting the courthouse square than ever before. Downtown events such as Fridays after 5 have seen exponential growth, attracting 3,000 to 4,000 patrons each event. Many other music events, such as our Merchants Alley Happy Hour each Friday, combined with our seasonal events, Sippin' Cider, Chocolate Walk, Christmas Parade, Christmas Open House, and others, create a vibrant and inclusive atmosphere. All these events, plus our expansive outdoor dining and the entertainment district, make the quality of life in Limestone County second to none. We're working hard to improve the heart of our community. We are also fundraising to make these improvements happen. In 2022 and to date this year, we've raised over $200,000 in private funds toward renovating the farmers market, holding our beloved events, and supporting our programs. We are not solely relying on public funding, but we do need your appropriation to continue our work. We're asking you to please continue to fund our appropriation at the level of $18,000. In your package, you have a number of financial information. You've got last year's financials. You've got this year's to-date financials. You've got our budget and budget to actual. And then you have also our 2022 update. So with that, that kind of concludes my comments unless you guys have any questions.
Not, but you know, and I don't. Commissioner Barker was asking the amount in the funding. She also gets money for Spirit of Athens and other things too. on your appropriation, right?
Yes, I get my appropriations. I get 50,000 from the city of Athens, and I get last year I got 18,000 from you guys, and then I get 5,000 in TVA in lieu of
Tax money.
tax. So those are the public appropriations I get.
Nice-looking financial statement from December for '22.
Yep.
And
Anything in the positive column works.
And, you know, just a plug here, I went out to Friday After Fives, hadn't been to as many this year because of things going on in life, but we went out and had a great time Friday night. Spent time walking around the square. I know seeing Mark out there, our engineer, was out. Just seeing, good to see people out enjoying family fun, good, clean family fun around our downtown. And thank you for all you do, and that's like the farmer's market. I think there's no way that we could have carried it to the level you've carried it to. So
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you for your hard work.
It takes a village. We've got a lot of great people that volunteer with Athens Main Street. I'm the only staff member, but of course, you know, one person can't do it all, and we have a lot of really great volunteers that do a ton.
Yeah, you got one real good volunteer, your husband. I give him, he's always working on something around town. And
Main
like I
Street
said,
husband, yep.
It's amazing how much he does for our downtown area for no recognition. And like I said, Terry, thank you for all you do, and we appreciate you and appreciate your service.
Thank you, Terry. Gentlemen, I want you to know that she's always working for grant money. She's always looking, I guarantee you. Does a great job. Thank you, Terry.
And I think the naming of the park down there when they get it done, the Doug Gates Park, that'll be really, really, you know, Doug has done so much for Limestone County through Rotary and all this over the years, and that's a good honor to that family and a great man he left behind, a good legacy. So, anyways, thank you, Terry. We've got Terry Davis.
Lori Wilson.
Ms. Wilson, you mind step up to the microphone, please?
Certainly.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you so much. My name is Lori Wilson, and I'm a volunteer tutor as well as a volunteer board member of the Learn to Read Council of Athens and Limestone County. I currently serve as the treasurer of the board. I'm here in place of Rhonda to save our money and to save Rhonda's sanity. Thank you so much for your consistent support of Learn to Read. The Learn to Read mission is to prove the literacy and math proficiency and for the quality of life here in Limestone County. We accomplish this through 5 free programs. Basic literacy, which works with the adults in math and reading, and we have 19 students currently in that program. We also have an English as a second language, where we have 91 students. It's very interesting. We currently have 9 countries represented in our ESL program: Iran, Mexico, Philippines, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Thailand, Turkey, and Nicaragua. In the past, we've had China, the Republic of Korea, Pakistan, and Colombia. Our computer lab supports these programs with the adults, and we currently have 37 students taking advantage of this. We have 119 unduplicated adults in the adult program. Excuse me. Our student program, we had 48 students in our after-school tutoring program. 96 of them made their goal for the year. We currently, in our summer program, have 38. This is up from last year. There was only 21, but then we were in competition with the Limestone schools in their summer school program. Our current budget for this year is $145,000. We were trying to add a new employee, but so far the grants that we have requested for that new employee have fallen through. Last year we received $77,500 in grants and funding for an 86, where we spent 86.5. Those numbers are in your packet. What I'd like to point out is in 22 we had $255,000 in salary and a rent of $15,800. Back when in 2015 and 2016, when you were funding us at the $7,500 level, we still had $42,000 in wages and $40,000 in those respective years, and a rent of only $11,400 and $8,000. As you can see from our wage numbers, that our 3 employees have not received a wage increase in those years. It was respectful to give them an 8% increase this year, and we will go find the funding. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
I got any questions? And thank you, and thank Rhonda for all she does down there too.
Thank
They
you
do a
so
great-
much. We'd appreciate your playing along in our summer reading challenge. This way it takes nothing from you.
All right.
And it gives us a little bit of attention.
And thank you for your volunteer
Thank you.
service down there.
It is my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right. Ella?
Bethany Shockney.
Bethany, if you don't mind, step up to the mic, please. How are you doing today, Bethany?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning. I thank you for the opportunity to talk with you a minute. I'm with Limestone County Economic Development, as you know, and I have put in a request to increase our funding up to $120,000 for the 2023-24 year. We've been level funded at $90,000 since 2009. So we've had this same funding from y'all for almost 15 years. And as you know, we have, over the past several years, up until this year, we have always operated with 2 staff members. We added a third because of our increased services along the way. We have had $4.3 billion in capital investment in this county with over 10,800 jobs since 2009. So, as you know, the certain areas of our county have really boomed for industrial development. That doesn't count for all the small businesses that have been added, as well as the some of our existing companies that have expanded and grown over the time that didn't even make the state list that this $4.3 billion is reflecting. So we're always engaged in a lot of different things in the communities. These 2 right here, for instance, just the fact of what they do for our livability in our community is incredible. We do support everything that most of these nonprofits do. What's going on down on the square is extremely important even for us. We have to make sure that people understand what's going on in our community, and having a vibrant downtown is vitally important in us telling that narrative to these companies that are wanting to come to the area. We're also, one of our staff members is, it's our project manager who works, gets up every day thinking about workforce development. That's our biggest challenge today with our industries, is to have a pipeline of qualified, skilled workforce for all of our companies. And this is even outside of manufacturing, but she works as a liaison with all of our area education partners, our K-12, as well as our colleges and universities, not just in Limestone County, but in our surrounding area all the way up into Tennessee, because, again, that's how we have to tell our story. Within a 45-mile radius, we have about 400,000 in our labor force, and so we have to really work to keep those people skilled up. Obviously, we have a work with business retention and expansion with our companies, as well as strategically marketing our area with our different site programs that we have and the site development that we support. And with that, we have acquired several grants. We go after everything we can for site development, as well as recently workforce development efforts as well. We also have implemented a scholarship program that we raise funds outside with private donations, and that has been very successful. We just recently awarded 14 scholarships through those private donations this past year. And then, of course, we are now active with all of the chambers of commerce in our area, not only Athens Limestone, but also Ardmore, Decatur, Madison, and Huntsville. And so trying to stay plugged into those communities because they have a vital role in everything that we do in our county. You know, we're kind of unique with a couple of our bigger municipalities, you know, leaking over into our county, but they play a big role in our economic development. So we're trying to make sure that we stay plugged in and want to help y'all stay plugged into those organizations as well. Do y'all have any questions?
Anybody got any questions for Bethany?
Have anything? Appreciate you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Bethany.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No further comments? We'll wait on the train to get done blowing his horn. All right. And like we've stated several times, you know, public comment, if you can never make it in, you're more than welcome to email one in or something to that effect. A lot of times we have, you know, people that cannot make it to a meeting, so they're more than welcome to email us a comment in. All right, first thing on the agenda today will be the minutes from June the 20th and the 27th. You know, the 27th, we had a little special meeting to approve a resolution we missed on the 20th. So any discussion with any of those minutes? That's the reason it's 2 minutes meetings on there today. All right, moving on. Under claims, we got $2,903,410.01 claims. Anybody got any dispute or any talk with a claim that's being paid? All right, we have no public hearing, resolutions and orders. First resolution on here will be a resolution for zero traffic fatalities by 2050. This is for SS 4A grant. This right here, I will let Drew, you have anything on that? I know it's, and I think Mark, they're working on this for zero traffic fatalities.
That's the federal grant under Safe Streets for All, and in the application process, they require the applicant to pass a resolution setting a goal for the future of zero traffic fatalities. And the federal government has set its own goal at 2050, so I think that's what we went with here to match up with them.
And I do know the city passed this here a while back. The city went through about all cities and counties around have went through this same process. And as a person who's lost a son in a traffic fatality, you always want zero traffic fatalities. So that's a great program, and I know it's to help intersections, help improvement. And I know Commissioner Salmon, we talked about it a minute this morning, and that resolution is for that. So anybody got any more discussion with that? All right. Number 2 on here will be a resolution to donate the previous Habitat for Humanity property at the corner of Vine and Browns Ferry to the Oasis Outreach Community. This is something we've worked on for quite a while. This is an old house that used to be used to be for Habitat. We've been using it for storage for the last several years. It's at the corner of Vine and Washington. The Oasis group is starting a rehab type program for outreach for in the community. Jerome Malone does that program. He does an awesome job. Jerome works, he's one of those kind of people that works with very limited resources and works hard, and he's really active in our community. And they're going to use this for their office and stuff. And anytime, and I know me and Commissioner Samet talked about this the other day. And I think this is a good idea. Commissioner Samet wants to reach out, and Drew, he wants to reach out and get like a value on that house. We can do like an in-kind contribution. A lot of times, when that's a good in-kind. It'd be listed as an in-kind contribution to to that group or organization. That way, when they have it, they can look back on their financial record and say, "Hey, the county made an in." They're out lobbying, trying to get other people to help them. That may help them, saying, "Hey, the county has made an in-kind of whatever the value of it is." It's.
Yeah, it's just to give us an estimated dollar amount for in-kind services, in-kind services to that nonprofit organization.
I know we done the Veterans Museum a few years ago, and we didn't do that, and I wish we would have had, just for the simple fact was, looking back, you could say, hey, the county has made an in-kind contribution of whatever the value of it was, it would have helped them and would have helped us too, so I think it helped both parties.
That's true.
But thank you for bringing that to my attention, Commissioner Samet.
Yes, sir.
And anybody got any discussion with that, any issues with this? It's just a piece of surplus property that's got a bunch of just stuff stored in it, just junk more or less. But I think, like I said, we'll go through the process and get that going that way. No more discussion with that. We'll move on. Contracts and agreements and MOUs and grants. Number 1 on here will be to authorize Limestone County to enter into an agreement with the state of Alabama and the Alabama Department of Transportation in order to install passive warning devices on Mooresville Road. To total amount of the project shall be paid with federal Section 130 funds. I'll let Mark talk about this.
Yes, every year the DOT and FHWA, they evaluate railroad crossings, and this intersection came up on a list of priorities for them. So we met 4 or 6 months ago, something like that, with the DOT, FHWA, railroad out at the site, and they notified us that this was a priority location for them. And so they're going to do the improvements at no cost to the county, and that they'll handle project preparation, design, installation. They'll handle everything at no cost to the county because of it being a priority location.
And this is in District 1, up in Darrell's district on Mooresville Road. The train track kind of crosses an angle there, and it comes out with a solar farm, and it's kind of, if the train's coming from one way, which they have lights and all, but I hope they put up crossing arms and stuff. What I hope they do.
It has to do. It takes into account a lot of things, traffic history, but also speed of the track and speed of the roadway. It takes a lot of things into account. But this came up as like I said, it came up as a priority location, so it'll be. All work will be done at no cost to the county, but we do have to give them the ability to work within our right-of-way and approve this project.
Well, at least it's a heads up. That's more than the railroad company does for you, I guarantee you that.
And for the heads up side of it is CSX will be working on crossings, I think starting Wednesday in Limestone County or next week. It's coming up. I mean, they're going. I know the city had put out a thing about it, and we've gotten notified the other day they're going to be working on several crossings all through the county. So expect delays, and like I said, we have no teeth and nails with the railroad company. They own, I didn't know. I learned this working with the water authorities over the years. The railroad holds priority rights over so much. I mean, it's leaving our rails to trails is still listed as a. If you do any work there, you cannot cross them in certain places. You can't not. If you go under it, you have to bore still. I mean, so the railroad has priority rights over a lot of stuff. So like I said, thanks for that. I'm glad to get the grant on this or get the program looked at this because it's identified. So, all right, any more discussion with that? All right, second on here will be to approve a contract with a PMT Publish and / Business Alabama for spotlighting the business. Alabama Magazine, this is for $650. We do this, and we've done it in several years past. Bethany in the city and everybody in the city, we all get together and buy a 2 or 3 page article in this Business Alabama Magazine. And I know Michelle always took care of this, and she's not here with us anymore. So we got this took care of. This will be just to talk about things in the county and to spotlight everybody. So it's anybody got a discussion with that? All right, number 3 will be to approve future matching funds for the SS4A grant for the amount of $500,000. And like they talked about earlier, any grant you do most time has somewhat of a match, and this will be just for that.
This is not an additional $500,000 in match. I think it's $500,000 in project cost.
Yeah.
So it would be
Is
a
this the
match.
one that was $400,000? The one that was $400,000, we're raising it to $500,000?
That's correct. Our matching portion would be $500,000.
Yes. Okay.
But the total
project would go to $2.5 million.
That's right.
And our match would be,
80-20, I think, wasn't it?
80-20 on most all grants.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
but that's for one specific project.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is on the 72 and Mooresville Road.
No,
Rodney.
this is
McCully Mill.
Kelly Capshaw, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about, we've approved that one a time or two, too. Have they got anywhere with that much? Or is it about the same?
It's AT&T.
AT&T?
Yeah, talk about railroads. AT&T is just about as
Mall Bell's holding us up, aren't they?
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
Yeah, so it's AT&T is what
Where
we're
are we
waiting
gonna
on.
come up with 500,000?
It'll come out of the public building fund.
I don't know. That'll be.
Or
We're
the-
saying that we will
match that.
will match it. That will be a budget item if the grant gets funded.
Yeah, if it gets funded. That's a if. It's gotta
We
be
are
funded.
applying for it. It's through the Safe Streets for All grant. And
That's
so,
the $2 million we approved for the last.
So it'll be
commission meeting.
2.5 million is what it will actually be. So So that's the reason for having to come back and run back to the commission, because it was an increased amount.
When Ma Bell done away with the party lines and all that, the phone services went away, didn't it? Better get the party lines back.
I don't know if we've improved from the 8 party lines or not.
The party lines, so we got to get the party lines back. Anyways, moving on. 4 on here, any more discussion with that? Okay, number 4 will be to approve to enter into an Alabama recycling grant agreement with 8M for the awarding amount of $600,000 for the recycling building construction. This is something that we talked about last meeting. We got awarded this grant, and I want to thank, like I said, Krista and and Drew and Ellen and Mark and everybody. They've worked, and Carrie. They worked tirelessly to get this grant done. So this is it. And another note there. I want to, KLB, was in the recycling business, and they've talked with Drew and awarded us some of the equipment and stuff, and they're working with us, to get this going back. And I want to, they've got a new director over there, and everything's going in a good direction, and they're excited to help us get started back, and they're going to help with the educational portion of this and helping to get the people educated up to how to recycle and things. So I want to thank KLB for all they do too.
Do we know what a building will cost us?
The way we're going to design the building is so that we can meet this grant, but that if we need additional space, then we can expand it at a later date. We're not going to. The goal is to not design something that kind of puts us in a corner to where it can't be expanded. Ultimately, it will probably have to be larger to expand the recycling program. The building will have to be larger than what this grant will pay for. But we're going to design the building so that it can be expanded as that time comes. So this grant will cover allowing us to grow the program, but it may not meet all of our goals that we have for the program. So we may have to seek additional grant funding or something.
That's what I'm looking for.
To grow the building as the program itself grows.
That's what I'm looking forward to, is seeking further grants to grow the program. And I think they will do that. And by the way, on the building cost, it's according if you're getting paid by insurance for it or you're building one. After insurance hit ours down there another day in tornado, it don't pay enough to build it back. Needed better insurance. So anyways, side the point. Anybody got any more discussion with that? And anybody got any plugs they want to put in on the recycling program and how well they're carrying all's doing down there? All right. Moving on, budget revisions, we have none today. Emergency purchase, we have none. Board appointments, we have one appointment here to reappoint Mr. Jimmy Swanner to the Board of Equalization. And if nobody has ever had any experience with the Board of Equalization, it's been tough this year on them. I know Mr. Larry Burlingame, Jim Swanner, it's several on there that serve our community, and it's a zero paid, but it's something they work with them, with Mr. Patterson downstairs, and it's and I want to thank them for their service. They had to sit down and listen to people. If anybody has anything dealing with a tax, if they want to do a dispute, they go to see the Board of Equalization. So that was this would be to reappoint him. And anybody got discussion or any issue with Mr. Jim Swanner being on the board?
Appreciate what they do, because the way the county's growing, increasing everything, so.
And this year's coming off of reassessments and all, and they've had a rather hard, and I mean.
Exactly.
But on another note of it is, me and Mark was talking about the other day, my home has doubled in value, and I'm sure everybody else's has too. So, I mean, it's, so that was, I want to thank him and thank y'all. Anybody got any discussion with that? All right, moving on, award of bids. We have one award of bid. This is for EMA for a full-size truck from Lynn Layton Chevrolet, and this is I know we've got, one of our EMA got Trent's here today. This is a vehicle for his deal, and it was TVA will pay for this vehicle. It's coming through a TVA. We just had to do the paperwork and handle it. So I want to thank them, TVA, for all they do. But this right here, this is a much needed vehicle for EMA. Any discussion with that? All right. Personnel policy and staffing, we have several. First, I'll just kind of go through them and we'll stop at the end. Approved to hire Cole Camp as a corrections officer pending a drug screening. That's to be effective today. Approve Charity Smith as a corrections officer pending a drug screening, effective today. Approve Breonna Bivens as a corrections officer pending a drug screening, and that's today also. Approved to transfer Beth Grist from records tech to temporary recording tech, and this will be effective today. And this is the job that we advertised for the temporary position for the sheriff, the lady that's retiring. You know, we approved that last meeting. It's a temporary spot. Now, like I told the sheriff, that's always good to get somebody in to train with somebody, so that's a good thing. So that will be, then we got Jesse Tyler, who's transferred from dispatch over to recording tech, records tech. That'll be effective today also. And approved to hire Jeff Thomas up in District 1, effective July the 5th. And then approve a job description for a deputy sheriff of animal control. Did I talk too long?
It's too close to my page as I was flipping.
We always ding the bell when people talk too long. Thank God.
I apologize.
All right, well, we'll stop right there. You stopped me at a good spot. That's a good deal. So anybody got any discussion with any one of those items on there so far? And then I'm going to talk about number 8 here in just a second. All right, then nobody discussing nobody or anything. So number 8 is to amend the staffing plan to reflect 5 investigators at a grade 19, and then this will be to change and add additional investigators to the staffing plan. Sheriff has came in and spoke with me. We've had several conversations about this, and the sheriff has done an awesome job with his budget and kept it down below, and he's actually done a really, really good job. But he's got the money to do this. He wants to add 2 more investigators, and as this county is growing, as the caseloads we have out there, we all know that this county has tremendously grown. So and I don't see they've got the same amount of investigators they've had since I've been here. So I mean, as the population has grown, we went through a census change. I know we went up 20-something thousand. So that's he's just moving. He's got the money in his. It's no additional funding. It's just he's moving some money around to make it work. And this year he's going. And he don't think everything's going to be good. And I think it's much needed. And like I said, that's what this is. Anybody got a discussion or any plug-ins on that? Y'all awful quiet today. But anyhow, but that's what that number 8 is on there, and I want to thank the sheriff's office and all they do to keep us safe. And I know that they have a caseload up there. They backed up on cases, and like I said, he probably will promote from within and go from there. So, but anyways,
I have a question right there, Mr. Chairman. Bulletproof vest. Do we furnish officers with vests? Sir? Through grants.
For our COs, we bought them vests. They also have to list it down. And to put a plug in, we got a Mr. CC here with us today. He works in Dale Strong's office. He's our new field representative guy, and we have applied for some deals with Dale's office and hoping that will help our safety stuff. So, anyways, Mr. CC, you see the needs here. We need needs on bulletproof vest, I'm sure. So. Thank you. Any more discussion? All right, moving on. Merit increases. We have several listed below. Anybody got any issue with anybody or any discussion with the merit increases? Like I said, I want to thank all of our employees for all they do to make our county great. Everybody's got sidekicks, and the county employees have me as a sidekick. They're what make it work. So, good deal. And engineer's report, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a few subdivisions for your consideration as new submittals for your review and consideration. We have 4 Briar Patch subdivision. This is addition number 3. This is a major for preliminary approval, creating 44 lots in District 2. This is on Wells Road near the Ed Ray Road intersection. Chapel Hill Phase 2. This is a major for preliminary approval, creating 35 lots in District 1. This is on the west side of Yarborough Road, north of Quarry Road. East Limestone Road, commercial subdivision. This is a minor for preliminary approval, creating 1 new lot in District 2. On East Limestone Road, south of Keaton Drive. And Rose 72 subdivision. This is a minor for preliminary and final, creating 4 lots in District 4. This is on the northeast corner of the intersection of 72 and Sledge Road. Got any questions or anything about those subdivisions? If not, item number 2, this would be to rescind the approval for Briar Patch subdivision addition 1, which is a replat of lots 659 through 64. You guys gave approval for that on March the 20th. The developer has had some things come up with some issues with that plat. They can't follow through with the plat as originally submitted, so So we're requesting to rescind that and approve replat of lots 59 and 60 of Edition 1 in its place. This is a minor for preliminary and final, affecting 2 lots in District 2. So the reason it was brought up originally was because there's a sewer lift station on the property, and they're having to divide that sewer lift station out of an easement and make it its own lot to give that lot to the Water and Sewer Authority. And so in the process, they had made some changes to a few other lots. But like I said, they decided not to make those changes, and they're just dividing this lot out for the lift station. So it would be a vote to rescind the previous approval and approve this one. So if you have any further questions.
Just because of the sewer lift station deed. Okay. Anybody got a discussion with that? Anybody got anything else for Mark?
Subdivision regulations.
Subdivision regulations, do have those. I believe I'm finishing up my last review. We did have something come up last week that was brought to our attention that Drew and I are having to review. The state legislature passed I don't really know exactly what to call it. It'd be some stipulations on mailboxes and these community mailboxes, and Drew and I need to see how that affects if something we need to change something in the regulation before it goes out. So that was something that just kind of popped up last week that had been signed into law. So we were going to review that and see if that affected anything that we were changing in our regulations, see if there's something we needed to adjust to make it match the state's requirement on those cluster mailboxes.
As a husband of a rural mail carrier, the better quarter of the 3 quarters she is, don't let them do that. My wife gets all upset about them cluster mailboxes.
She doesn't like the cluster mailbox. Well, it's not as much about us. That's a postal service requirement. But like I said, the legislature did pass some legislation on that, and so we need to review it and make sure that that our regulations meet what the state put in place. So.
Well, I just want on public record I fought for it, because if I didn't, I may have to come to somebody's bonus room. So.
Okay, all right.
No,
Well,
just for
that's all we have. But we do have that one piece to review.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anybody got anything else for Mark? We're done, right? All right. Other business, brief to approve to move the following from inventory, which is a Canon copier and a laser jet. And so this is both items will be from the probate office. Anybody got discussion with either item? And then we got one to sell on GovDeals, which will be EMA, be a satellite from the command post. And this is FY16, so I guess that means fiscal year 16. Probably old or something like that. So any discussion with that? All right, then we have started under other business, and this is a kind of open discussion for the work session. I got a couple items here. Number one is a discussion of the legislation appointment. Next meeting, we have to appoint somebody to be the legislative appointment for the county commission. I've done it last year. I'd be honored to do it again, but if one of y'all others would be willing, just think about it from now. It's where.
Isn't that supposed to be a second term?
We always call that, but you don't have to be. But I mean, it's better if you have been, because a lot of times you're more familiar with the legislative appointments. I know that if it's a whole year commitment. I don't mind doing it. Be glad to be honored to do it again. I was honored to do it this year to represent Limestone County, but I want to give the opportunity if one of y'all would be interested. Just get with me or something for next meeting. We have to appoint it within the next meeting, so Ellen, be sure to make a note. We need to put that on the next meeting. So, but if anybody else is interested, please let me know. But I don't mind doing either one. And the other one's discussed the $15,000 from Buc-ee's. I know everybody's got we need to get moving with that. If anybody has any suggestions or whatever, we can talk about it now. Y'all can come up with it later, however you want to do it. But this is Buc-ee's every year. When Buc-ee's built here, that was part of they give back to the community, and they give $15,000 every year to go to a charitable organization or something to that effect. You can break it up, do whatever you want to do, but it is to be giving back, and they have sent us and Buc-ee's has done a whole lot economical for our road tax and all this, and we want, whatever we do, we want to highlight Buc-ee's, and however y'all want to do, whatever, but that is out there for discussion, and I know we've had several reach out, and I know everybody probably has a different dream and a different passion, so y'all, we need to get together and figure out, y'all come up with a plan, and we'll go from there.
Let's go ahead and discuss it. I'm
I
sorry.
like your suggestion.
Well, I mean, y'all, whatever, it's up to y'all, I mean.
That'd be fine, to divide it between the commissioners. Is that how you want to?
Well, I mean, it
doing
was.
it? I mean,
it's
Buc-ee's is the ones that deserve the recognition from it. That's where the money's coming from. But if we divide it between the commissioners and at their discretion, then give it to a nonprofit organization or.
Well, I know that Darrell had reached out about, he had a couple in mind, he wanted to see, get some of it, and that's however y'all want to do it, it's to honor Buc-ee's, and it's to honor, I mean, I want to, like I said, I know as county officials, we never really have a chance to really just flat out do something that you want to do, and I mean, but the Buc-ee's, I think, Buc-ee's would be honored with whatever we do, so I mean, we just want to do whatever we do, we want to honor Buc-ee's and go from that way, so.
Well, it don't matter, or like I said, I had several. $15,000 is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of the organizations that use it,
Right.
And this is for a 10-year period now, and this will be, we get this amount of money every year for 10 years if everything goes as planned. And I mean, this will be coming around after every one of our ranks is gone, I'm sure. So I mean, it's I want to, whatever we do, I want to honor the Buc-ee's, and I want to honor,
Exactly.
and I want it to go to good organizations and good deals. So I mean, it's however y'all want to do it. I know, several of them have reached out. If you done it either way, it'd be $3,000. You can, per commissioner, you could pick an organization that you think's most fitting, or you could break that $3,000 down, or however you want to do it. I know we'd have to have a little contract, just like we do with any other organization, with that. So it's just a food for thought. But I know we've had it on the whiteboard. I know we had a Mark Twain statement up there the other day. I can't remember exactly, something about progress. Slow progress is better than what was the Ellen? What did it say?
Oh.
I put Ellen on the spot. But anyways.
Well, if we go ahead and set
Mark
something,
Twain.
we're in stone.
Yeah.
We're good for 10 years. I mean, if that's how long they want to donate it.
And that's what their contract is, and Emily can quote me on it. It is 10 years, right?
I don't have it.
But I think it is 10. I'm pretty sure it is 10 years.
I think so.
Okay.
But it was to give back to the community. So y'all get together. We need to get moving forward with this, because it's getting around budget time, and it's time that appropriations are out there and all. And
Well, I'd like to go ahead and set it if we could. I mean, that way
we'll
go
have to
ahead
put
and
it on the
get
next
done.
meeting.
Put it on the next meeting.
Be better to put it on the next meeting. But we got.
Okay.
But just that's like I said today. This section of the work session we have put on here just for discussion for anything anybody comes up with.
Okay.
So y'all be thinking about that. Get with Ellen, and she'll get it on the agenda however we want to do it, and we'll go. Y'all come up with ideas, and we'll go from there. So.
That'll work.
Under the other business, anybody else got any new business or anything going on or
What about
anything?
moving our work session to the prior Wednesday? We thought didn't you do some
We've
homework
done
on
some
that?
research on that. I've checked with every county in the world, and a lot of them say most everybody does not do it that way. I mean, that's just the simple fact is, I would love to see us at least, and we've talked about this idea. We've talked about a once a month, meeting to where you had at night, just a planning meeting. There's like a more of a formal where people can, community can come, and like a town hall type meeting to where we discuss new business things facing the county, and we do that once a month or something like that. And we do that in the afternoon, to where the people come in and just kind of like a formal, a question answer. Because I think to me, a lot of things that's facing the county is planning versus, we talk, a future other business we got coming in front of us. Some of them do the work session after the commission meeting or before. It's done every which way. Some of them don't even do a work session. I mean, it's amazing. to study this at county government. I know Morgan County, I know the lady that covers it's in here, they just go straight in and have a meeting. Madison County goes straight in and has a meeting, and just whatever's the agenda. I will say this, I know that and I'm as guilty as anybody on this. If I would love to have it where we set it in stone to where the agenda is to be printed at an X number of time because we originally set it that way, but as COVID came around and everything has come around, we've kind of gotten to where, and I know with grants and things like this, sometimes we have things that pop up at the very last moment. But we could always, you can always say, hey, if it's an emergency, defines as but selling something on Gov Deals or something, or approving a subdivision or something that didn't get it turned in just in time, that's not a, but I mean, something that comes in like a grant or a deadline, or something that's a timely, sensitive deadline. I understand, we could always add, but I would
Am
love
I the
to.
only one that would like another day or two to review
No,
that?
I'd like to have it turned in on Wednesday. I mean, I'd like to see it by Wednesday myself personally.
That's whatever, I mean, yeah, what.
I personally don't have a problem with it like it is, because I know during all this health issue I've been dealing with, you can't schedule. I mean, I've missed 2 meetings,
Right.
and I wouldn't have done it for the world,
Yeah.
But if you got one in the middle of the week, then that's just one more that something, you don't want it conflicting with something else.
That's right.
Is what I'm saying.
Well, I'd just like to have the agenda by maybe Wednesday afternoon to have another, at least
Oh,
2
sure.
days to look over it.
To get the agenda.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
to have
But
the
as far as
agenda,
the work
I would like to
session,
have
setting
that.
the work session up on Wednesday,
Yeah, I'd just like to have the
I'd
agenda.
just soon keep it like it is.
Just have the
That's my
agenda
personal.
printed on Wednesday so we can look at it and have Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
And out of respect for Darrell and his health issues, I think that, right now, moving anything would be really crucial, being he's starting through this health issue journal.
Yeah, I don't-
And I've always said, I liked later in the day better, but I mean, we went through this and all, but I mean, I would like to see us at least move from 9 to 10, starting at 10, because Monday morning, but I do like Monday.
Yeah.
Because of the simple fact is, if you ever, most of the time, if you're going on vacation with a family, I mean, personal issue, or if we got meetings somewhere else, Wednesday's generally the day that ACCA tries to have everything, because that's the least commission meeting day
Right.
and church day. Especially if somebody's going to take this, like me or whoever takes this legislative appointment. Well, a lot of times Wednesday's the day that you had to go to Montgomery. If you got a commission meeting that day, it's almost impossible to. Because Wednesday is ACCA's meeting day, and I'm on this plan and everything, and I mean, I wind up going to Montgomery a lot on Wednesday, and I mean, and it's just representing the county, and, you have to look at it, you got a job here, you got a job there too, so,
That's right.
but y'all come up with a plan on it. I mean, I'm fine with whatever we decide. I'll make it work, but, I know there's some counties that have one meeting a month, and I don't see how they conduct any business having one meeting a month. I mean, I just don't see how it's possible. I mean, because we have a hard enough time with 2 weeks, especially with hires and stuff, new employees and things to that effect.
Folks don't like not getting paid.
Well, and not only that, I mean, it's it's the nature of it is, we have several jobs that always have swapping around and applying and stuff. Well, if you got a month between it, you'd be handicapped all get out, if you. But I mean, so I don't. The 2 weeks is already pushes it, as far as getting things done.
Yeah.
Like the other day we had a special call meeting, just because we had to get something done. It's a time sensitive issue, so. So anyhow.
So you'd like to move the meetings on Mondays up a little bit? Is that what you're
I
saying?
mean, me personally, at least, but I mean, I don't care. I mean, after lunch, before lunch, whatever. But I like the 10 o'clock time frame or
I'd be
something,
fine with
because
that.
you kind of get out,
I'd be fine with that.
But I mean, that's something we need to just keep in front of us and keep out there. So.
Okay.
And any more discussion or anything new? All right. Well, with all that said, we will recess for about 15 minutes, and that'll get us back here with us, say 10:05, because we're already on to the 9:50 mode. So, all righty. If we'd have been in